if I traded it all.
Welcome back, everyone. My next guest has been on my show once before. I have with me Andy Paus, and she is a partner at Arizona Mediation Institute, I should say it that way. Welcome back to the show. Tell everybody about you. You were on for a shorter time. Now you're going to be on a little bit longer, so we can go really narrow and deep on it. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
I am a family law attorney, but I do mediations now, and so I don't represent people, I don't advocate for people, but I act as a neutral in divorce actions, mostly divorce actions.
First of all, I know that you've been doing this for 20 years.
I have.
And I'm going to say this, everybody knows that right now they're keeping their mouths shut about getting a divorce because they want the present, right? They want the present, and then it's the new year, for fun, and then after the first of the year, they're ready, right?
A lot of people. That's true for a lot of people. It's been interesting. This December has been really busy.
I know you were today.
Yes.
So because people, when they come to you to explain the process and what makes it so different and so much better, actually, I so wish I had this.
Right. Well, people can come to us in two ways. One is if they don't have lawyers and they want to sit down with a mediator and negotiate their settlement. And that happens a lot. And that means that we would have several 2-hour sessions where it's just the parties and the mediator talking through issues. We then, at Arizona Mediation Institute, we draft all the paperwork and we take care of all of that for you. And then you can have your lawyers look over the documents. So that's what we call pro per mediation. You're basically representing yourself within the mediation, but then consulting whatever experts you need to outside of the mediation.
So when you're doing mediation, is it less money?
It is less money.
A lot of people want to know that.
Yes.
Because everybody, money is a lot of, it means a lot.
It is, and it's a lot less money because you don't have two lawyers litigating. You are talking to one neutral party who is talking through issues. And a lot of times you can get those issues talked through so much quicker than if you involve two more parties.
Now, we're live on Facebook, so I want to say hi to everybody out there. Just follow us, like us, and of course, everything that we're giving away here, you're more than welcome to call in as well. I know you're doing a giveaway, and what is that?
Well, a lot of people ask us, what do I need to bring to the mediation, or what do I need in general to get ready for my divorce? So we have a list of things that people need. It's a checklist, and it's just one of those things where it helps you check things off the list. I forgot I had a stock options, or this account or that account.
I wish I could forget I had stock options sometimes. But anyway, the thing is that you do need to get prepared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the lines to the audience so that everyone can call in and get this. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone that you know that's dealing with something like this. The one thing I know that I do want to talk about is how much easier this makes on the family in general, especially the children. So our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We're going to give everyone this list just so that you can have it. Now, the website is ArizonaMediation.com. It's all spelled out. Arizona is all out. ArizonaMediation.com.
Right.
You can also call. Their phone number to call is 602-852-5565, or call in here. Get this. I'm going to get you connected. I know you're holding tight right now, but it's good to have the information so you're ready to go and hit the bucket right when you're done. So at the first of the year. So our number here again is 602-277-5369. Okay, so let's talk about that, because, one of the things that gets hurt the most in a divorce is obviously the children.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And mediation with children, people who have children, it's a fantastic way to move forward with your divorce, because you can actually talk through very specific issues. And you don't get put in a box. It's not one size fits all for every family. Of course, everybody's different. Everybody has different concerns. Everyone has different needs. And what I like about the mediation process when you have children involved is that when we start the process, we talk about what we think might work for a parenting plan. And so, for example, if we think maybe a week on, week off plan might work, and we try it during the mediation process, so for maybe 60 days or so, and it's not working, then we just work on agreeing to something else. And then we can try that, and we can make changes to what we think is best for the kids by actually trying it.
Wow, so that's kind of neat to be able to do. When you're doing mediation, does it take longer to do a divorce or shorter or about the same?
Shorter.
Okay.
And a lot of it is going to depend on what kinds of assets and what kinds of agreements you need to make. However, most of our mediations are done in 60 to 90 days, 120 days, whereas if you have a litigated case, you're probably talking about 12 months.
Well, also, there's a difference that people, when you talk a little bit about you doing mediation and it's with or without lawyers, what does that mean? Because everybody thinks they have to have, I have to say, we do know that we're told, I did it, I had it happen to me, where, oh, don't worry, I won't hurt you, you won't need an attorney, right?
Right.
And that was baloney. But anyway, so tell me, why everybody does think they do need to have an attorney. So
when we do mediations with attorneys, that usually happens at the end of the litigation process, where people are getting ready to go to trial and they say, look, we've tried to work through things, we can't, we need a mediator to help us out. And they come in for a full day with their lawyers, and we get cases settled that way. When we do mediation without lawyers, that just means when we're sitting in session, we don't have the lawyers present. Now, it's really important to me when people walk away from my mediations that they have a binding agreement that they can live with. No one loves their agreement, but it's something that they can live with because there's some give and take in there. And that means that they have to have enough information. So I encourage my clients, my mediation clients, to go out, seek tax advice, seek legal advice, talk to your estate planning attorney, gather all of that information, then come back to the next session and sit down and we'll talk about it again. So we're not going to enter binding agreements until everybody's ready and everybody has enough information, and that includes involving your lawyer.
And that's kind of where this list comes involved as to all the things that you really need to think of so that you're prepared and not all of a sudden, oh, I need to get that.
Right.
So we've got our lines open here and everyone's going to get it. It's what you need. It's a list of everything that you need for your divorce and mediation. And our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Maybe it's you that's going to be dealing with this. Maybe it's someone that you know. It's really good information. That's what I love about networking. That's what it's all about. It's not necessarily who you're talking to, but also who they know.
Sure.
So your website is ArizonaMediation.com. The phone number to call them, it's 602-852-5565. And call in here and get this list. This is something that is invaluable almost to anyone. I want to also ask you, there's a lot of people that have been through divorce, like myself, but the things come up. That's the thing. After a while, you've got it going for like maybe a couple of years. It's going okay, and then all of a sudden something comes up, and you got to go back to court. Let's say, can they instead come to someone like you, or do they have to follow suit with what they were doing?
Absolutely, no. They can come through mediation at any point. So that means that they can come to mediation before they file anything with the court, which is most often with the parties that don't have attorneys. They'll come in even before they've filed anything with the court, or maybe they want to talk about a separation agreement that they don't want to file for divorce. They don't want to file for legal separation. They don't want to do anything yet, but they want to have an understanding of what the rules are during this separation, so we can start there. And then after you get divorced or legally separated, or you have a parenting plan in place and you have trouble and you need to work out some other agreements, come back to mediation or come from litigation into mediation.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Because that I think that's, you hit the nail on the head there. There's a lot of people out there that I think the biggest problem in divorces is obviously who's going to have the kids and money.
Sure.
Right? Money. So that's where it comes up, and where you think everything's okay and then somebody's job changes or something. So you don't necessarily have to be, just going through something like this or thinking about it. Maybe you've already done something and you really just don't want to deal with it, but do it in a nice way. You're friends now. You don't want to, when money's an issue, everybody becomes unfriendly, but this is a way of keeping it nice. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. Our number here, we have this list that we're giving for everyone. I think everyone should have it. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Check them out on their website. It's ArizonaMediation.com. Welcome back. And we're talking to Andy Paus, and she is with Arizona Mediation Institute. And this is sort of something different. And a lot of people, even though I know this time we don't really want to talk about this, but we know that we're all dealing with something. Usually a lot of people are having divorces or going through a separation, or maybe they're dealing with something within there already. They've been divorced. There's so much. But she's going to be giving away this list that you need to have ready for your, divorce, your through mediation, and I think it's invaluable. I think everybody should have it, because I'm telling you now, there's always something that you miss. I know we did. I mean, it's just the way it goes. So this is great information for you. Our number here, we're going to leave the lines open for the rest of the show for everyone to call in. So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Go ahead.
Carol, you said something before the break about coming into mediation after you've been either divorced or separated and you're friends, and so you don't want to make waves. That doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So some people don't get along after, believe it or not, after their divorce.
Really? Wow, what a surprise.
And they can still mediate. You don't have to be friendly. You don't have to be good communicators. You don't have to have agreements. Some people think that. You don't have to. That's the thing about, if you go through mediation to begin with, it's a skill you take moving forward, is to be able to communicate with each other.
Right, which is why you were in divorce anyway, because you couldn't. But so how many times do you find when somebody is with you and let's say they hated each other or whatever, and lo and behold, at the end, it turned out to be like, what a great experience, because now we don't hate one another. We may not like each other very much, but we at least can agree to disagree and come up with something that works for both of us.
Sure, that happens. I think more often it is, we're glad we did it this way and we talked through it because we've worked through the issues, and that's important. Because a lot of times if you go through litigation and the judge makes your decision, neither of the parties like that decision. And so that perpetuates more litigation. You go in front of the judge to try to change this or that, or I never liked that decision, so I want to try to modify that. Whereas if you come to an agreement, you're more likely to have some significant buy-in because you worked on that agreement, and then you have less problems moving forward.
Well, I know that if I was in the room with you, I mean, your voice is so mesmerizing, and so that you're talking, it's the way that you are also, because you're the mediator, you're the go-between, and I love the way that you talk, because you're just sort of, you're talking about something matter of fact, but you're helping them understanding it, and you're rolling them along with it. You know what I'm saying? Am I right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
yes, people say that a lot. Not my significant other. He says I'm not that way at home.
We're never like we are in business as we are at home. That's
kidding.
for sure, Andy.
No, but that's true. It's about making sure people have their voices heard, and making sure that if I see one party who isn't able to speak because the other party is speaking, then slowing this person down and bringing this person up for that person to be able to talk, and just being able to hear each other, and allowing them to hear each other.
And coming up with solutions that work for everybody.
Right. And I let them try to come up with as many solutions as they can think of before I give them my input, because I want that to be their ideas and their solutions. And if they can't think of anything, Heck, I've got a couple of things that I can recommend.
Absolutely. Again, we've got this list of things that everybody needs to get ready for their divorce. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone that you know that's dealing with something like this. Again, you could already have been divorced and now still need to go back to court for whatever reason. That always comes up. So we've got this, the number here to call is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I understand that you have a little story that you wanted to sort of talk about for clients who couldn't be in the same room.
Most of my pro-per mediations are done in the same room where we talk to each other. I encourage the communication. And if we have to, we'll separate into different rooms on a periodic basis. But I had one set of clients who they absolutely could not be in the same room together, just never. And they got their divorce done. They just had to do it separately. So it's more expensive to do it that way because I'm running back and forth.
That's where you're saying, just call my lawyer?
But they didn't want to involve their lawyer, so this was great. So they just actually, I went back and forth and we got it settled, but they couldn't meet in the same room. So mediation is a process that can be molded to work for the parties. So however it needs to be molded, then we can do that in order to make it work for people.
You've been doing this an awful long time. Mediation has been around, but people don't really understand it very well.
It's getting really